Hey everybody! So today we're going to look at last week's weekly studies. If you're watching this video, then you probably got a less than perfect score on the video. So I thought I'd go over the questions and where you find those answers in the text. So one of the questions was, what is a profit? Okay, um, so if I went to the section buy, and I already went ahead and highlighted, which you're allowed to highlight too. And so you just highlight it and then this little window pops up with the different colors. Okay, so what is a profit? This is a good definition question. So in your text, you want to look for the definition. So I see the word profit here and I see the word profit here. So what I would look at is this blue sentence. You can think of profit as the extra money that's left over after a company pays the cost of getting a product to consumers. All right, so profit is the price of an item? No. It's the amount of money that it costs to make? No. Profit is the extra money left over after a company gets a product to consumers. So on that one, you should have picked C. And most of the class did pick C. So even if you didn't get a really good score, you probably got that one right. That's a pretty explicit question that you can find the answer right in the text if you look for it. All right, the next question is about Johannes Gutenberg's printing press. Now, this one is a little harder because this is an inference question. It doesn't exactly tell you what happened, but when I read this part about scarcity down here, I highlighted this. So the price of that champion poodle is high because there's so few dogs of that quality. People who want the most beautiful, healthy poodle will pay a higher price because it is so scarce. Okay, so if I just highlight like that, should it pop up? Maybe not. Oh, there it goes. See that little, it took a minute. See that little curly thing? And I can actually see your highlights. So if you highlight in the text, I'll be able to tell where you got your answer from. This is taking a while. Okay, we're not going to wait for that. We're going to go on to the next article because I highlighted 2 other sentences. Okay, so in this article about Johannes Gutenberg, it tells us that the entire book had to be copied one word at a time. It took a long time and the books were expensive. After he invented the printing press, books could be copied in just a few days. This completely changed the way people were able to share their thoughts with others. So if I look at these answers over here, if the supply of something goes up, then the cost usually goes down, okay? So that would be answer choice B. On that one, most of you did pick answer choice B, but there were a lot of people who picked A. A would not be correct because the price of books went up because there were so many available. That's not what these articles have told you. Anytime that there's a lot of something, that drives the cost down because it's so easily available. When something is scarce, that's when you can't get your hands on it, and so the price goes up. I can tell you that Lego sets that are common in Target or Walmart, those prices are lower compared to the sets that we want to buy that are retired. They're not making those sets anymore. And so we rely on people's collections and we rely on people to have one in their back room somewhere that they can sell for a higher price because we're not going to be able to order those off Amazon or something. All right, a lot of people put D. The cost of books went down to lower quality of the books. Well, I would argue probably that a book handwritten by hand would probably make it a little bit nicer than maybe a new invention. Sometimes when we copy things, the quality goes down. But that's not the inference I'd make based on the passages that we've read. We want to really think about that idea of supply and demand and scarcity. All right. The next question is, an opportunity cost means a consumer has made what kind of decision? So for this one, we have to know what an opportunity cost is. So So if we go to the store and we're having to decide whether we want the Heelys, those shoes with little wheels in the bottom, or if we want a video game, and we only have $80, then we have to make choices. If we can't afford to have both, here's where that opportunity cost comes in, okay? That means it was an opportunity you could have chosen, but getting something you wanted cost you that opportunity, okay? And so over here, it doesn't mean that we didn't purchase anything. We're going to get one or the other. So I wouldn't pick A. B says a consumer has decided to pay a higher price for an item because of supply and demand. We have been reading about that, but I don't think that goes with the idea of making a choice. C, a consumer made the decision to purchase one item instead of another. So C is the right answer. We get the Heelys. If we get the Heelys, then we don't get the video game. If we get the video game, then we don't get the Heelys. So that's an opportunity cost. Okay. The next one was the graph. So the cost of the item is going up and the supply of the item is going down. So when the supply is going down and the cost is going up, that's kind of like that printing press question. Then what we want to think is, yes, the supply is too low, and yes, the supply of the item is decreasing. But if we make this an inference question, then we would pick D. Okay, the demand for this item must be high. Okay, when supplies get low, that's when people really want to buy things that they can't find, those rare items. And so then the cost goes up. Okay. And the next one is the advertisement states there will be a limited number of a certain item produced. That advertisement is trying to sell ideas based on what idea? Okay, so so this one, all right. The advertisement is hoping to use the idea of scarcity. So if we go back to that article, buy, we go to the scarcity section. Scarcity means there's not enough of a product to meet demand. When that happens, the price of the product could go up in stores. It almost surely will go up when someone who does have it decides to sell it to someone who can't wait to get it. And so we see that a lot. When there's a popular toy or a big sale on items, people will go buy a whole bunch. And then you see those dresses or those pocketbooks or those whatever it is, they show up on eBay. And then people try to sell them. They got them for really cheap because there were a lot of them. They blew out the supply. And so then they turn around and try to sell it for a higher price. Sometimes you can get in trouble for that. Right before the coronavirus, the man bought all the hand sanitizer in his area, and he was going to try to sell that for a higher price, and he got in trouble. So sometimes that there are actually laws to protect consumers against things like that. But if it's just a normal like advertisement, there that's one way that advertisers can kind of lure you in. They can kind of persuade you or attract you toward their products. Okay, why do prices get higher? Okay, so on this one, we want to say that prices are getting higher because, I think it was right here. When a company makes a product, they put as high a price on it as they think people will pay. It wouldn't make sense for a company to price the new video game at $500 because no one would buy it. So they look for a price that's low enough that people will pay, but high enough for a profit. So over here, we want to say maybe A. that kind of goes down here with this scarcity. Prices are high because so few of that dogs of that quality are available. So when we have a high demand and a low supply, that will drive prices up. And last but not least, we have the MP3 player question. So why don't they just sell them for 99 cents? They would sell so many. We'd buy 2 or 3 a piece and not have so many. I could have one in my car, I could have one at school. So why don't we sell them for super cheap? Well, this paragraph tells us that the reason is right here. One reason: it would cost the company much more than that to get it to consumers. So companies want to make sure that they have enough money coming back to them after buying all the things that they needed to put it together, and the cost of transportation, and they've got advertising costs. So they can't price it low. They have to be able to price it so that they cover all the expenses they had, and they want to generate a little bit of income. So the goal of a company that's making products is to sell them at a price that people will pay, not too high and not too low, because they want to have that nice profit, that nice little bit of extra money that they can use to either buy new products or make new products. All right, I hope that helps. I'm going to make a little study guide video for this week's article, so you might want to wait and do the assignment for this week after you see the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Work hard on this week. Go back and reread. And make sure that you're looking at that text while you're taking the test.